So within the Textures Nordic Christmas range is this 3D Christmas tree. This is probably one of my favourite items of the whole collection. It does make a really good size three-dimensional tree. Now the set that you're getting is going to make the half tree, so you can place it onto your projects really easily like so. But you can also use two of these die cuts together to create a three-dimensional tree like this, so perfect for your home decor Christmas items. But of course you could also adapt this to be perfect for things like Halloween as well. So there's this way of creating it, but then there's also another way of creating it as well, which I will get a video up on, whereby rather than using 3 side panels, you're just using 2 to make a slightly smaller and slimmer tree, and it's not quite so deep either, so for putting it in a box or posting it, it's a little bit easier. So what you're going to need is an A4 die cutting platform, so because this is a really large die. Once you've cut this out, you will have all of your score lines included, so it's just one piece for the main tree, which is brilliant. It just makes it super quick for you. You're going to need some way of gluing the panels, and I've got my hot glue gun, super quick, but you can use something like red line tape as well. Now what you're going to need to do is fold along all of the score lines. So we're going to fold along the top here, all mountain folds, so they all fold into each other, and there's a tab on the side there too, so just fold that one in. Now you can use a scoreboard or bone folder for this if you prefer really strong creases, but I found that the score lines that the die creates are perfectly strong enough. Now this tab at the bottom here is going to also be a mountain fold. So there you go, you can see the size and the shape that your Christmas tree is going to be. Of course, if you just want this shape for something, for a flat project, you could trim that away too. Now within here, the bottom tabs on each of these 3 sections are all going to be mountain folds too. So just get those folded quickly. And then you'll notice on some of these shapes you've got tabs, and again all mountain folds on those, so nice and easy, so get those done. You haven't got too many valley folds in this one. We'll go through those in just a moment. So just going down all those tabs like you see, I'm just using my fingers. You've got some really unusual shapes here, and I think some of these shapes could also be used, as you can see there, for something like a really large snowflake, if you want to do something like that, a home decor piece maybe. So there, we've got our mountain folds mostly popped in. Now what we're going to do is look at the double score lines that are between each of the shapes on these 3 sections. So you'll notice there's a double score line here and there's a double score line here. Now these are going to be almost concertinas, so if you hold this with those end tabs to your right, the left one is going to be a mountain, so push that down, and then the next one is going to be a valley. So effectively you're folding it like so. If I can just turn that round, hopefully you can see that. And you're going to do this on all 3, mountain and valley, and again mountain and valley. There we go. And then we're going to do the same on the middle section of each of the 3, so mountain and valley. So mountain to the left, and then valley to the right, just concertina folding those. Again, just using my fingers, giving them a squeeze, depending on the cardstock you use. My favourite cardstock to use for this project is a mirror card. The score lines are super strong, and I just love the shimmer. So you can see there we've got this 3-dimensional piece starting to come together. So now we need to start gluing. So we're going to use this main Christmas tree shape here as our base. Ignore the bottom at the moment, we can do the bottom last. So let's just pop these pieces to the side. We're going to bring round these 3 tabs and attach them to the edge of the Christmas tree. So a little bit of glue. I would suggest doing one at a time, not adding too much glue either. So as you fold this round, you'll see that fits absolutely beautifully along the side of that Christmas tree, just taking away any excess glue there. This is the trouble with hot glue. It is a little bit more messy than say a red line tape, but it's very, very quick to dry and it's extremely slow. So already I've got my cone shape onto there. So then I'm going to come round, I'll remove that glue when it's dried properly a little bit later. I'm going to come around, I'm going to do the next tab onto the tree as well and work your way down this side. So there's one, and you'll need to push the shape upwards into itself a little bit for that to fit along the edge of that base Christmas tree shape. but that's what's going to give you this shape here. And again, this one, see, it doesn't fit flat, but as you push those score lines up, it then starts to fit. Okay, so last little bit of glue, push that up, and that will fit level perfectly along the edge. So you should have now one of your edges perfectly on the edge of your Christmas tree. Then you can do the other edge, or you can work your way around. So I'm going to work my way around. So from the middle section, the middle of the three, I'm going to put glue on these two tabs, and I'm going to stick that to the ones that we've just adhered down. So I'll do both at the same time for this one, be nice and quick. Again, just push that upwards until it sits level, and your tab will just fit into place. Then glue on the other side of this middle one. Pushing that tab up into its shape. And what I love about this tree is you can have it a little bit quirky if you want to. So you can make it so that it's not absolutely perfect. If you want to have it slightly skewed in places, once the glue's dried, you can mould it and shape it to do that. So it looks a little bit more rustic, a little bit more fun, and maybe cartoon-like even. If you do this from metal, a mirror card, it can then look a little bit sort of steampunk and grungy. I've created mine from lots of different textures here. So this was a mirror card that's been embossed. This was just a green cardstock that I've added spritzes, sprays, some sort of snow effects to with paints. And then this one was just a white cardstock that's been inked and spritzed with a shimmery kind of lilac colour there. So you see we've got the Christmas tree, everything's glued around, really nice and easy. The tabs are really easy to follow. So then you just need to do the base. And if you just tuck these three tabs in, you'll find that the large base will just fold over and seal all of that in. So just simply a line of glue along those three, and just mould and shape your tree. Make sure it's straight so it will fit on that base perfectly. There we go. Your Christmas tree will stand up. Your Christmas tree will go flat backed onto a card. You can now decorate it. I would suggest, of course, decorating the cardstock before you get to this stage. Now, not only do we have the solid base like this, which is what I've used here and here. Like I say, for here, I cut away one of the three arms as such. So I cut this end one away, and rather than using the base, I also cut the base away. I just used these two and did all the scoring, glued the tabs together, and I ended up with this shape, which is a little more unusual, a little slimmer, but I've still got that three-dimensional shape there. What you can also do is add in these additional features. So these are additional plates here that you can add into your die. So if I just take one of these, you see they'll sit inside your die as you're die cutting. Three of them, so large, medium and small, create a gorgeous Nordic shape, which is what I've used here. So it's kind of got like the Nordic Fair Isle pattern there that you can see. If I turn that off, you can see that as well there. So I've just die cut those into each of the panels. It's a good idea to use low tack tape to keep them the same space, and then just go back into your die cut. Once you've cut the solid shape, you can go back in and cut these shapes out. But you also have the option of using these ones, which are a snowflake design. So you can use those too. So it's entirely up to you what you do. So you've got the solid, you've got the option of putting in the Fair Isle plates or the snowflake plates, and you can mix and match them, and you can just put maybe a couple in and leave the rest solid. Entirely your choice. The last bits we have with this set are, of course, this piece, which will create you a pot for your Christmas tree if you want to have that, and this is a star shape that also has score lines in to make this three-dimensional as well, and you'll see I've used that on these two tags here. So we've got the Christmas star just on top there, and it's just folded and pinched the peaks of the star on each of the edges to create a three-dimensional star there. So that's how you use the Nordic Christmas tree, 3D Christmas tree. Obviously 3D or not, it's entirely up to you. Hope you enjoy playing with this, and I'd love to see what you make with it.